Are there any questions? Yes. We have, on a legal selection, which was huge, I bet we might have received 75 to 100 proposals, and we picked a lot of firms. We actually allowed firms to submit their proposals on a CD. And then what we did was we took the CD and posted it onto a website within the authority, and then the committee could actually go on there and look. We didn't do it for all of the proposals because I have to tell you, some committee members bring them home and we wound up printing them anyways. So we really haven't found an ideal way to do it. We are still exploring it. Maybe I'll talk to OGS to see what ideas they have that maybe they could share with DASNY. I would say that's bad. They come in a box from UPS and they get shuffled around, and then from there the RFP coordinator has to log them all in, and then they have to ship them out to the committee, right? So some committee members could be in New York City, some are in Albany, some are out in the field if they're client. You have a greater chance that they're going to fall apart. What you want to do is make sure that it passes the test. Drop it on the floor. It didn't fall apart. So I'm probably pretty safe that it won't fall apart for DASNY.
Could I ask what OGS is looking for?
Sure, OGS. Van?
We have contact information in the blue folders. If anyone wants to call me or us, please do, and I will find out that information. On our website, when you click on the link to consultant opportunities, you will see links that indicate interested firms that have expressing interest in the for example, the environmental engineering services term contract. Firms that are submitting letters of interest are listed, and for those firms that are submitting letters of interest, there's a link to interested subs and suppliers that they have access to in order to be conscious or demonstrate an outreach effort to meet their MWBE, the MWBE's goals on the procurement. Not to belabor the point, of course, here's an opportunity for you to also to communicate with each other and to see if there are opportunities for networking so that perhaps you as MWBEs can be the primes on our consultant service contracts. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
If you're shortlisted,
Yes.
do you get some criteria, what your allotted time is before you present?
Correct. So if you just responded to an expression of interest, you give us your preliminary qualifications, and then we shortlist you, then you would actually get the RFP. And in the RFP is where we specify here are the deadlines and here are the major tasks.
But is that during the, when I'm specifically talking about the interview?
The interview, typically what we'll say is we may hold interviews and it would not be before such and such a date. So you would at least know that it wouldn't be before a date. Now, if we know that the time frame is very short, what will happen is the shortlisted firms will be sent a letter and we will tell you, please set this date aside in the event that your firm is requested to attend an interview. So at least that you can reach out to your team, especially, with holidays and stuff like that, vacations and stuff like that. Yep. Yes, question. That's a perfect question. So, especially on the term, I'll talk first about the term contracts because the term contracts are projects less than $10 million, so they're smaller. What we will do is typically if you take a criteria, right, the typical criteria would say, project experience, staff experience, MWBE utilization, maybe the experience of this particular client or term contract experience. Well, typically your large firms are always going to raise to the top, right? Who has more experience and more project experience. But the Dormitory Authority is committed under the term contract program to, so let's say that we decided we're picking 8 firms. Let's just say most of the large firms raise to the top just because of the way that the criteria is set up. The Dormitory Authority would say, you know what, we only want 2 large firms because some of these projects are very small in size. So we may pick the top 2 and then we would go down to the next highest ranked firm, not necessarily the third ranked, next highest ranked firm that may be an MBE firm or a WBE firm or a small firm, and then we would select that firm. And then that would be I always have to write letters describing our process and how the firms were selected. Well, if someone just looked at the raw data, they'd say, well, that firm actually got the higher score. Yes, it was, but we only wanted so many large firms, so we went to the next highest ranked MBE firm or WBE firm or small firm. Does that answer your question? Okay, one more question over here. Right now, just like most agencies or clients, our work is not what it was 2 years ago. We have less work to go around. And what happens typically is if someone's working at the campus, most likely that same firm would maybe get the next project. We are committed, though. I send out quarterly reports to the directors and chiefs and tell them what the workload assignment is, and strongly encourage them to, because we track it, to use new firms. Some clients are hesitant, right, to do that. So what I would suggest that firms, whether you do or don't have a contract with the Dormitory Authority, is we do post on our website firms we currently have term contracts with. We also tell you how many work assignments they've gotten, the dollar value. I would suggest that you reach out and you contact the firms and say, look, I am certified M or WBE, I'm certified with DASNY, and I'd like to team up with you to help you meet your goals. Because what that'll do is it'll give you experience both with the client, because they have an influence on who we select for the next project, and also experience with our DASNY staff. Yours is a little different because you have a term contract, but if you're patient, we actually had a term consultant that would call me all the time. They went 3 years. It was a forensic engineering contract, and they weren't getting any work, weren't getting any work. Then all of a sudden there was a need, and then they did such a great job. Now they're getting all of their work within the last year of their contract. It's not a perfect science. The secret is getting your foot in, and then once you get it there, keep it there. You're going to have to, every project you get, especially today with the competition the way that it is, you're going to have to give it all of your effort. Because again, like I said in the beginning, you get one chance to make a good impression, because there's nothing worse than we say to our client, well, we really like to give this firm, bring them to your campus. Oh no, I don't want them on my campus. I had them there. I had problems with that firm. I don't want, well, we can't say, well, I'm sorry, we don't, we have to respect what our client says. So, but I would encourage everybody to go to the website and try to team up or be a sub-consultant to some of our current terms. And hang in there, you will get a project.